So what this movie answered the question for me was, I guess James Mason has always sounded like he is completely out of breath, even when he was a young man.
Pretty much.
Even when he's playing God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was a good God.
And they were happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's a not a measure of depth. It was so interesting how they kind of, I guess at the time, the studio, because it was a London-made production, right, done in Dunham Studios, that they kind of worked around ever using the term IRA.
The organization.
Or even Belfast. It wasn't even named, right?
It's just a Northern Irish city.
Yes, with a giant port in it.
Opening credits of this movie, though, I rewound and watched 3 times. Mm-hmm. It's because I don't know, what was that shot from, like a biplane or a balloon or what?
Yeah,
but that has to be the first helicopter shot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they are in the middle of a bank when they begin the movie. They aren't even level. They're like, woo, coming in over Belfast.
Oh no, that's definitely Belfast. That's Harlan Wolff's old shipyards outside there. All those cruise lines.
It's cool to see it back in the day.
Well, that one. Victoria Square, which I think is called the Square. Yeah. And there's that little Big Ben.
Yeah, little Big Ben.
The Albert Memorial Clock Tower.
But that was really something.
This movie, I guess, what percentage of this do we think was backlot? 75?
All of it. Every last.
I think all of it.
Except for the flyovers, it was all done in studio.
So how did they do the ships and stuff? Were those smaller scale ships?
There's little cardboard ships with little bits of smoke coming. You see the little bits of smoke coming out of all.
There's a guy standing behind it smoking a cigar and blowing
pretty much.
It out
and in that junky area where he was hiding, the train goes by twice, and you never actually see the train. You just see the smoke.
I know it's the best
behind the fence.
And he was talking. James Mason was making his plans in the apartment in the beginning of the film. There's a little chimney. There's a little bit of smoke coming out of it.
I didn't screenshot that because I was like, God, this fucking matte painting behind him, I can't. It's one dimensional. It's not even two dimensional.
Pure studio film. It is pure studio.
And then they just have lots of shots of even the shot of the final place where Shell stashes him in the bathing tub. Is you look at it and it's oh yeah, that is a studios, it's like a stage.
But was well done. I thought that. So they think that bomb shelter thing was real common in Belfast, having built bomb shelters during
bomb shelters were
all over
everywhere in the
really
over,
the Nazis never bombed Belfast, did they?
But
they bombed Liverpool. That's pretty close.
No, everyone expected it. Everyone expected that there was going to be
sorry,
no jitterbugging.
That was a great that was a great scene.
It's like the zero gravity toilet.
This is the only
no shit.
This is the only memory I have of this movie at this point. I literally can't remember anything else other than no jitterbugging.
Pat, what was going on with the music in that scene? It sounded like a record that was skipping. It was just
I don't know.
Who knows, man?
It's so bad. It's so goddamn. I actually I loved this movie on a certain level, but then there was another level where it's just God, could you make a better movie, please? Could you just make a better movie, please?
Oh no, I thought that it would start out as a kind of a straightforward noir. It's about this guy who,
and then it gets weird.
Hiding. It gets weirder.
This artist guy was just out of his goddamn mind. I thought was wonderful.
It's like the movie's sober when it starts, and then it just gets drunk.
Yes,
it's
like gets drunk.
So it's this podcast.
It's like James.
Yes.
I love Dan O'Hurley as
it's like James
and everything else. As
James Mason is like the anti-action star.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well put.
He gets shot in the shoulder at the beginning of the movie.
That's perfect.
For the rest of time.
Also, the sun apparently really hurts James Mason. He can't deal with the sun. So,
Jared,
Jared, I don't need this kind of judgment, man.
Jared, if you've been hiding in the house for 6 months and you're robbing a bank, the sun's so bright.
Actually, Irish people don't handle the sun very well. Come on, get right down to it.
But also, I was ready for this adventure, and it's actually about a guy who's just slowly dying and sleeping.
He's the
Did
anti-action
anyone
hero.
else get the
Bleeding
vibe
out.
that Quentin Tarantino ripped us off?
Oh,
He's bleeding out and he's
absolutely, I
hiding.
did. And that was the coolest part of the film. The fact that this is all about this guy slowly dying,
Mhm.
and but people manipulating him during this whole thing. I thought it was
Sheila brought up Reservoir Dogs, and that it's like this guy's just the same as the guy from Reservoir Dogs. It's like he bleeds and bleeds and bleeds and never dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until the end, where
And
Well,
eventually
he
gets
gets
shot
shot
to
by
death.
the police.
Yeah. Then he
It was
gets shot
like
again.
into our first movie.
Oh, nice, the Kathleen, nice girlfriend, huh?
Oh God.
He was
Typical
all in, that's for
Irish,
sure.
She was all in.
I did
She was all
appreciate
in.
I appreciated the variety of Irish accents in this from
I mean,
To trying to not trying.
Some of them were pretty bad.
Yeah,
most
no,
of
it's-
them were
they're-
pretty
they're-
bad.
they're
What
good,
you
though.
be
They're
talking
good.
about,
Most of the
yeah, boy?
actors
Oh,
were
I got
Irish.
to.
James Mason was
There was some
Mason
leprechauns
was-
in this film.
kind of doing it.
Yeah.
I just figured that James Mason had gone to college, which is, in the UK, if you go to like public school and then university,
Mhm.
it's all about wiping out your accent.
That's
so that
right.
You speak some sort of, standard.
But
Especially if you're from the north.
The only Carol Reed film I'd seen, of course, before this was The Third Man, and
Ditto.
I've seen The Third Man multiple times. And watching this was actually, at first I was like, oh, this is so boring because he's not doing anything and he's just dying the whole time. But then I was like, oh, I love Carol Reed's filmmaking so much.
Well,
Like,
it's the same cinematographer, right?
and it's
Kruster.
also the
Very
same,
good
like,
looking
You can
movie.
tell.
Carol
Really
Reed
good
is just
looking
in,
movie.
Carol Reed is just in love with like deep focus, long shots with long
and
hallways
shadows against
and
the
like
wall.
shadows, shadows, and also like just very, very slight Dutch angles,
Yeah.
Look,
And,
look how
right.
gorgeous
Well
this
said.
is. Like, this is so beautiful. Like,
Uh-huh.
and
it's-
he's also not interested in, he's a wonderful director because it's almost like he's making an American action film, but he's turning it on its head a little bit, and he's saying, you know what, like he's making sure that every single American film that comes after this is imitating this, but in a poor way, and trying to make it, super, super, super duper expressive. But
he's out
no.
noiring the noir guys, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He obviously had seen a lot of
Right.
noir.
Yeah. It was you know what, the sense of space and area in this film, you can imagine in your head walking through all of this. Everything, there's a logical geometry and geography of everything that happens in this film. Is amazing.
Also,
I also
between
like all the little touches, like when he first goes into the air raid shelter and he starts having his hallucination.
Yeah.
And he sees the English soldier come in,
Mhm.
and then he's like interacting with him.
Right.
And
Also,
also, it turns out to be this girl with the soccer
with
ball.
one
He
skate.
thinks he's back in prison. He thinks it's a prison guard.
Yeah,
And it starts off as prison.
Right.
his best characters, the best character in this film, and also probably the best character besides maybe Orson in The Third Man is the main police officer. The main police officer in this movie is fucking amazing.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
His demeanor, his voice, his performance. And if you guys think to The Third Man, the police officer with a little mustache in that one, like, these are some amazing
Trevor
characters.
Also,
you know what came out? You know what came out this year?
What?
This year, Dead Reckoning and fucking Miracle on 34th Street.
Wow.
That's what America was putting out during this time.
Also, I had to look up the cop, and he like the RUC.
How amazing was that cop? The cop in this movie is my favorite character.
Perfect.
No, it's 100% RUC. He had the harp and the clovers on his sleeve. He carried a shillelagh. All the RUC officers carried shillelaghs back then.
Well, of course,
because that's how you beat the fuck out of some fucking.
And also,
Pretty
that
much.
guy, that guy behind.
Yeah, that guy.
And
yeah.
also, maybe the second best character is actually the guy who was eating chips at first when you come in, and then
Yeah, right. And
Tambor.
then fixes up James Mason.
yeah, and then he fixes up James Mason while the artist is being a psychopath.
That art.
And,
Oh, come on. That artist
That's
was
a crazy
great.
character, man.
But
Those are
the guy, but like, it's this is sort of like, do you remember when we talked earlier about Chris will appreciate this. Do you remember when we talked earlier about like people who were in like old timey films and the way they
Yeah, old timey movie.
act? The guy eating the chips was not in the same movie. He was in a movie today. Like the way he's laying back there, just shoving shit in his mouth, and then he only gets up when actually they come in with Mason, who's wounded, and then he gets up and he does his doctoral thing. But he literally was like on a different sort of acting level from everyone else in this fucking film. He was doing this naturalistic, weird. That guy.
That's Brad Pitt. That's Brad Pitt. That's Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11.
Yeah,
like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11 is just eating constantly through the whole film. Like that's his his character gimmick.
He talked about that. Yeah,
just
and it's so.
My other favorite.
Go ahead, Tad. You got to finish your
woman.
sentence.
Yeah, Tad.
No, that was his gimmick.
I was just gonna say,
but I'm just saying.
Behind me. This shot behind me, this is what I expected from Carol Reed.
Dude, we had the same shot on, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, that's funny. Right. I mean, from the guy who made The Third Man, I was expecting, dark alleys and people, on the run and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then I'm going to switch my background back to...
The soap bubbles?
The soap bubbles.
Was that nuts?
Let me just do that. And then it turned into this movie.
Uh-huh. Now...
It also turns into this movie.
This is 2 years before The Third Man, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was nuts. Also, what do you think about
about
this film and Christ imagery and that kind of allegorical level to it? What do you think about that?
He loves Jesus. Just loves it.
I mean, he was becoming more and more Christ-like as the film came
along. Carol Reed is more of an American filmmaker than American filmmakers are American.
I'll give you that. Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is in love with the central character who is downtrodden and who is sacrificed and who is going to ultimately. Everyone's films are everyone is so sad and they're so put upon and they're ultimately going to die. And that's because right after this movie, I finished this movie on Criterion and then I just put on The Third Man immediately. And so I watch these back to back.
I should have. That sounds a good idea.
Well, and you not only see his progression as a filmmaker because The Third Man is better than this film, but it's not too dissimilar. And both these films are great.
Yes. Well, there it is.
I think The Third Man really benefits from them shooting on location in Austria too.
Probably.
Well, and you also have, Orson Welles is just,
and yes, it has Joseph Cotton and Orson Welles,
and Joseph Cotton is just
This movie loses a little bit for where it's shot, how it's shot, and then also that the acting quality overall is
English actors playing Irish actors kind of thing.
I don't know, but there's a charm. There's a charm to this film.
I want to go.
Oh, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch of the imagination.
She's a brothel owner, a madam.
Yeah,
Teresa.
She was great.
Oh, I love her tugging her girdle down in front of the camera when she gets
I really like this film, and I'm glad that Jim, because I've only seen one Carol Reed film, and now I can say I've seen two, and I'm so much happier for it.
Right.
There's a pub that at the end of the thing where they put them in their thing. Those little rooms are called vaults. They put everything in the vault.
Those little tables.
I want to go to that pub so bad.
Oh my god, me too.
I know, it looks like so
I've
much
actually been in one pub in
the
Dublin
vault
that
is
still
actually
has
just
those.
They really have them. They still have them there, Jim.
But it's like a tourist attraction.
Oh really? I want it, but I'd rent a vault out. That'd be fun with my friends. Hang out.
The whole bar room.
No, okay, but this
is like the
vault.
funniest.
The vault is actually. The vault, though, is the VIP area actually in today.
Those old rooms with the
area.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
It's like a private room, right?
It's also where there's a story about Oscar Wilde.
That's bottle service, baby.
It's like extra $2 to get a vault. You're probably right.
Yeah.
That is bottle service VIP. If you're if you're killing it in life and you're rich, you go into that fucking little space.
You pay extra $2 to go.
Aren't they also called Snugs?
Snugs too. Yeah, I've heard that.
Snugs, yes.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. Or the Japanese thing where you get the little room with the sit down.
It's like the private karaoke room.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
was fun.
Welcome to Yelling About Movies, private karaoke room.
So, Jim, what brought this on?
Well, look. Well, wait. Look
There's
at
more.
the shot behind. Look at the shot behind Johnny.
I know, right?
Johnny.
Isn't that nuts?
So tell me that's not some weirdly way connected to Scorsese's shot in Taxi Driver.
Which shot?
Which shot are we talking about?
When he puts the fucking Alka-Seltzer into the goddamn glass, dude, and the amazing shot.
Huh?
Pulling a
Have
blank.
you guys not seen? Have you guys
No,
not
no.
seen
I
Taxi
haven't
Driver?
seen it in at least a year. I got to go watch that now.
I'm by that. He didn't see
I don't
anything.
remember.
I'm gonna watch the
He
third man.
watched
and
the
then
fifth.
Taxi.
Didn't see any faces in the
There's
fifth.
like
I just think that
a
there's
minute
also
later.
no, I mean, that is quite literal what Carol Reed did here. But there's a scene in Taxi Driver where Travis Bickle is in, before he goes crazy, he's in a diner with all of the buddies, and he drops an Alka-Seltzer into the fucking glass, and Scorsese just lets the glass bubble up, and it's like it's a goddamn
The living
close-up.
thing. It's a living thing.
Yeah, of a glass like
Uh-huh.
going up, and I'm telling you, it's supposed to be like it's a metaphor for his mind, but also I think visually it's kind of striking that it's strikingly similar to the Carol Reed visual.
So you're saying his brain is squirming like a toad?
Yes.
Yes,
It is.
100%.
Well, and that's done with an optical printer, right? Like that's
Yeah.
they
Oh,
It
yeah,
must have been
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Some very
They cut-
serious work went into this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. A lot of
Uh-huh.
passes through the printer.
Yeah.
I only a drunk person could have thought of this shot.
This is probably this movie's written half drunk.
I'm feeling really judged right now. I,
I feel seen.
I don't know.
well,
We are talking about drinking too much and talking about movies. What?
I gotta show you guys one more because
no, we have
this-
to go down to Southern Ireland. We have to go down.
Shut the-
we can't go all the way up to the north.
Well, my
Fuck up.
the missus, her family's all from Cork, so what you gonna do, right?
Okay,
Oh,
the
that's
whole
pretty good.
once
That's
once
pretty
we
good,
met
Joe.
once we
Welcome
met
to
the
yelling about
painter-
bad Irish accents.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's his name? The painter, Marcus. What's his name?
Lucas.
Lucas. Yeah.
Lucas,
Once
yeah,
we
what
met
about
the
him?
painter, we were in a whole different movie.
But
It
it's not
was.
Tobin.
It was crazy.
Tobin.
I like how that
Yeah,
transition
that was
happened.
that's fucking Adam's family right there.
This
It
whole
was.
fucking thing. Sheila's like Blade Runner. I'm like, yes.
It
Maybe.
is kind of like
The
Blade.
snow just falling through that broken skylight and all those boarded up.
They're like squatters.
It's crazy, man. It's
Chris is probably the only one who will get this, but Dishonored.
Although I'm gonna say one thing about the snow in this film is that it was such obviously shaved soap.
Ground up plastic shit.
No, it was
Fake
soap.
soap.
It was shaved soap.
Uh,
They use that in It's a Wonderful Life too.
yeah, I was looking at it falling on his.
It was those big
like-
long spears
Really?
and squares.
I don't
and-
care about it. Look,
I
don't
do
care.
like
It's
I do like
beautiful.
the fact that it's falling in the staircase when
If I
Shell
ever-
goes upstairs.
That's the shot behind me, Jim.
If
yeah.
I ever do a movie with snow, I'm gonna purposely make it shaved snow to look just like these films
There you go. There you
because
go.
that's how much I love this.
It did.
Okay.
It did make me stop watching this and go listen to the Ed Sheeran song "Afterglow," where they talk about 6 inches of snow. Like it was one of those things where it was like it did make me. It made
I
me
think
feel
if
like
you-
sone was happening, which is cool.
Yeah, I
No,
think
I'm
if you
not-
listen to
I'm
Aaron
not
Sheeran's
wa-
song, you're not in a good.
I'm not one to
space.
compliment Tarantino,
No,
but
that's a good song.
The
Fuck you.
snowfall in Kill Bill Volume, I think 2,
Oh
There's
yeah.
no such thi-
Oh
There's
yeah.
no such
was
thing as
so
a,
well done. It was
Yeah, that's
beautifully
good
done.
fucking.
Aaron
That's
Sheeran
so
Oh yeah,
good.
it's a total ripoff of.
It was Lay Snowblood. They can't get around that. But in terms of the technical achievement there, that was pretty impressive.
It
Well,
was nicely done. Yeah.
That's up there. That's up there with the hero
Right.
shot of all the leaves for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
and
in that
also Blade
category.
Runner 2048, whatever it was.
Yes,
The snow
when
in that
he's
was
when he's
gorgeous.
2049.
dying, when he's
49.
dying in the snow.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I wonder how
it's-
I wonder how they did it. I have no idea how it was done.
it's so good.
That was
digital, bitch.
No,
really? Was it?
No. They used gantries and had actual fake
Like
snow.
some sort of
falling.
like a weird like synthetic stuff that looked like
Yeah.
snow going there. Okay.
Yeah.
Asbestos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably-
Yeah,
I think-
they're, yeah,
I
they're,
think- I
they're
think-
all
I
gonna
think
they're
a
all
lot-
gonna
I
have
think,
lung cancer.
It's
next
probably
think
year.
all that
uranium or
stuff
something like that.
is-
Yeah, sure.
It's more digital than you think. We've
All
come
right.
a long way.
All right. Come on. Show of hands
Thumbs
time.
up.
Oh,
Dude.
yeah, that's good.
Thumbs up.
Wow. So good. That was so trippy at the end too. It was wonderfully done.